Hey guys, welcome to another review here on Condition Nerd. So today we're going old school, and by old school I mean vlog style. So I am on location in my kitchen because today we're going to actually be reviewing the Nespresso, I want to make sure I say it right, Essenza Mini Espresso Maker by Breville. This is a Nespresso maker that I purchased on Amazon about 6 weeks ago, maybe not that long, maybe just a month. And the reason that my cohort, my partner in crime, Eric, is not with me today is that he doesn't drink coffee. So I have been left on my own to taste test my way through all of the offers that Nespresso has to offer, all of the coffees that Nespresso has to offer. Before I had my Nespresso maker, I had a Keurig and I was very committed to it. We had a very personal relationship, but it took up a lot of space on my countertop, and I moved from just being a casual, enjoyable coffee drinker to really loving espresso and cappuccino and cortados. So there was that moment of, well, why am I spending so much money at my local amazing, I'll give them that, amazing coffee shop when I could have it in my home. So today we are definitely going to be taking a look at what makes the Nespresso Essenza Mini Espresso Maker by Breville so excellent. So first off, it is tiny. This machine in and of itself is like about 12 inches long, 3 inches wide, and 8 inches high. At least that's what the specs on the Amazon dimensions give it. It is very easy to use, very easy to maintain. This odd little handle at the top is actually where you lift up and you put the pod in. You close it and then you press either the espresso or the lungo button. You have your water container on the back, and when you flip it up and tip it is what detaches it from the machine itself, and it just pops back in. On the front here you have a place to place your espresso cup if you have a demi-tasse, or this comes off and you can see I've spilled coffee, but that is where you can put your regular size coffee mug, and that just slips on. This also pulls out, and inside you'll see this is where the pods are caught. That is essentially the entire thing. But wait, there's more. So I did in fact say that I like cappuccinos and cortados and other things with milk, so I also purchased the Aeroccino milk frother by Nespresso, and they actually had a bundle on Amazon, and I bought everything together. That way it was a little bit cheaper than it would have been otherwise. I believe this is not the most latest edition of the Aeroccino machine, but it works perfectly well for me. It is very, very easy to maintain, clean, and I keep it in a cabinet. It's almost practically the same size as the espresso maker, which is crazy, but you can obviously make enough milk for more than one coffee at a time if you need to, which has been helpful when I've had friends come over. It's like, oh, let's just make some cappuccinos. So let's get down to brass tacks and actually talk about my opinion. Now, my opinion for this machine is that it has been a godsend. I really, truly love it, and the flavor options and choices from Nespresso for their pods are fantastic. Typically, a pod costs around 60 to 70 cents per pod, and you buy them in packs of 10. That in and of itself is a huge savings. That's 10 coffees for the price of 1.5, at least here in New York City. I don't know how expensive coffee is where you are, but I know that I can go get a really decent, really excellent actually, cortado or cappuccino for about $4.50 plus a $1 tip. That puts me at $5.50. Yeah, the cost versus 70 cents for one is pretty impressive, to say the least. The machine itself, while it is a little noisy when you run it, it only takes about 20 seconds for it to get a good pour off of the pod. So okay, 20 seconds of your life is a little bit noisier than it would have been, but that's not really a huge detraction for me. I make sure that after every single time I make coffee, I clean the Aeroccino. I just don't want it to get gross. I usually rinse it, wipe it down, make sure that it is, and then I put it back in the cabinet. Yeah, just because you just don't want that sort of thing to get gross and built up. You can't actually put the Aeroccino in the dishwasher because it has electronic components in it, but it's pretty easy to wash with soap and water. And you could put the attachments inside of it, so the whisk and the other add-ons things, and you could put the lid in the dishwasher as well. So honestly, comparing this to the Keurig, I would say that my opinion is that it is an excellent improvement, especially for my personal life, because I was drinking more espresso than I was coffee. There are still times that I want a cup of coffee, and that's why I have a French press, and I keep coffee available to me if that's what I'm in the mood for. But 9 times out of 10, I am going to be making coffee using my Nespresso maker. It's really that fabulous. It's also it takes up significantly less counter space, a third of the counter space that my big, huge Keurig had. So that's a big win, because I like having my counter space back so that I can actually use it, especially in a New York City apartment. Counter space is very, very valuable. So yeah, I would say all in all, it's a complete thumbs up for me when it comes to purchasing. I haven't noticed any downsides yet. I will say that the container where all the pods fall, you can only get about 5 or 6 in there before you have to dump it. Wow, that's quite a con. No, it's not really a big deal at all. And if it gets full, it won't actually let you put the new pod in all the way. So you just have to dump it out. It takes like 2 seconds. Also, the thing that I think is really cool is that Nespresso is really committed to being green, and so all of the pods are actually recyclable, and they send you a bag to be able to mail them the pods back so that you can send them back to them to be recycled. And I actually watched a video, they have a video on their website or somewhere, where it shows how they go through the recycling process. It's actually really cool, but it's nice to know that I'm not just using those plastic Keurig pods that are gonna end up in a landfill for the rest of the time. Instead, I'm using aluminum pods that can be recycled and repurposed for something else, and the coffee grounds are actually being repurposed to create fertilizer for gardens and things, which is pretty freaking cool. Plus the coffee tastes great, like really great, and they have such a variety of flavors that you can pretty much get anything that you want when it comes to that sort of thing. So yeah, I gotta admit that I'm a fan. It was a big decision for me to switch, because I had my Nespresso, I had my Keurig for a really long time, and switching to the Nespresso felt like I was abandoning my Keurig. Yeah, I abandoned it. It's gone. I'm never gonna use it again, because I have this amazing tiny machine. Now, I will say that the Essenza mini espresso maker by Breville is available on Amazon. It is not actually available on the Nespresso site. They have a different version of the Essenza. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it is very available on Amazon. It is the smallest of all of their espresso makers, and that was what drew me to it, is its tiny size. Like, I would consider taking it on vacation with me. Yes, that sounds crazy that I would take my espresso maker with me on vacation, but it's espresso. You understand. It's like life. It's important. Life needs things to live. So I'm a fan. If you're on the fence about getting one, it is definitely worth the purchase. If you already have maybe a stovetop espresso maker or something else, and you want something that's more convenient, that's faster, this legitimately takes me a minute to make espresso in the morning, and that includes heating up the milk. Depending on how much milk, it will take you longer to heat up milk with the Aeroccino if you have more milk versus less milk, but that's up to you. But making of the espresso itself takes no more than a minute, so that's on demand as you can possibly get without having to put clothes on and go to the local coffee shop. So I am a huge fan, definitely giving it 2 thumbs up. Do you have an espresso maker at home? Do you have a Nespresso maker at home? What is your favorite kind of coffee? these are all things that I need to know. Just know that I love cortados. I do. They're pretty much my favorite. They're the perfect amount of espresso and milk at the same time. It's great, except for when you want to drink a lot of coffee and then you feel like you have to have like 4 cortados and then you're hyped up for the rest of the day. That's less good. But regardless, definitely let me know in the comments below what your opinion is of Nespresso versus Keurig, and I guess that's gonna be it for me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, support us on Patreon, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!